Hi, good morning. This is Marlene Dinarius here, and I'm doing some morning practice in solfeggio this morning and in common chord. And what I'm going to be doing is the following. You'll see. I think it's quite a useful exercise I've developed. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. This key, I've just replaced the plectrum and it's a little bit long. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. So that's the modulated scale and the modulated Neapolitan Solfeggio scale, starting on Fa. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. Or you can start it on ut. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. I wouldn't start it on do, unless you've never learned solfeggio before. But if you have learned the French system with the fixed do, with C or T, don't use do in your singing because you'll just confuse yourself. Stick with ut or the English system, which I'm using, fa. What the English did was fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. And they sang fa, mi, la, sol, fa, la, sol, fa. And then they sang the same syllables on the way up as well. So that's why, but the English system still uses Neapolitan solfeggio, but with this strange variation. This la, sol, fa, I have found it in some medieval descriptions that when you're going downwards, you always sing la, sol, fa. But in Naples, a different system was developed that had slightly more texture to it. The English were possibly using an earlier version of Guido's system. Certainly the English system was in use at the time of Purcell, William Tansur, and so on. And Tansur, in fact, wrote a very good textbook about it. But there are more recent ones as well. Woodman in the 1860s. The English system, after the French came along, they called it the English system, and then another system was developed in England called the tonic sol fa, and then the Guidonian system became called the Lancastrian system. But it's still Guido's system. It's very similar to the one used in Naples. And it was the last place in the world still using it. The French invaded Naples and imposed the French conservatoire curriculum, and then the Naples system died out pretty much across Europe. The English were the last holdout of it. I don't think it exists anywhere to this day except for people who are resuscitating it from the dead. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. But it did hold sway for 1,000 years or more. The French system's only been around for a short time. And with the advent of the French system, of course, came the death of composition extemporization, composition at the keyboard. That died as a skill. There are now a number of classical musicians who can do it, but there are few of them. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. Now, the modulation. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi. So we modulated from the fourth. Fa, re, mi, fa. We're modulating sharps to flats here. Oh, sorry, sharps to sharps. My apologies. Fa, re, mi, fa. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So what's happened? Fa, re, mi, fa, solfeggio to G sol re ut. Fa re mi fa. But we don't sing that. We go fa re mi fa mi la sol fa mi re ut. Keynote of C here, and the keynote of the next scale, and we connect them with the holding note. I keep thinking of Beethoven. Da, 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 and so on. Keynote of the next chord. So we have fa re mi fa mi la sol fa mi re ut. So we play this chord, the common chord of G, and then instead of playing the next chord way up here, because the shared note is too far away, we bring the chords close together. And of course we've gone from this scale up to this scale, and this is the holding note. Because each of these chords is ut mi sol. Ut re mi fa sol, ut mi sol. Or we start up here, ut mi sol, ut mi sol, ut mi sol. Or we go up here, ut mi sol, ut mi sol, ut mi sol, ut mi sol, ut mi sol. This is why the modern system of using numbers for the keys doesn't really work, because the pattern ut mi sol stays the same no matter where you play the chord. It's still ut mi sol, Ut mi sol, ut mi sol. Right? Whereas this would be ut mi sol. And of course, in the solfeggio scale, we have repeating. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Ut, re, mi, fa, or fa, re, mi, fa. We have fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, mi, mi. And we have fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, 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 sol. And if you analyze Bach, for example, using the Neapolitan Solfeggio, which Bach used, you'll find he's often jumping from sol to sol and from mi to mi, and doing things that the patterns are not visible if you use numbers, but if you use the solfeggio, it becomes extremely clear what he's doing. He's going fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, 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 mi, re, re, mi, sol, sol, re, re, sol, sol, re, re, things like that. And those patterns, it's playing with the syllables quite a lot. So where are we? We are here. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, ut. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi. Fa, re, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, ut. Fa, re, So you need to do all of that in all the keys, major and minor. It takes some time. I still don't have automaticity. And then of course the next step are the cadences. Basic cadence pattern is written out in full in all the keys in John Frederick Lamper's thorough bass in major and minor. You can do things with this like consonances with these two chords, and of course you have this combination of chords in every key, and so you can mess around with very basic, very simple improvisation. If you're using thirds, doesn't work. Something like that, a very poor attempt at improvisation, but then I'm very new at all of this, and I'm still really at the very, very, very beginning, at the very bottom, I suppose, of the mountain. So, to be continued.